who we are, who your legal team is, and what we do for y'all. I would like to first say, I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. Came in during a pretty turbulent time, and I thoroughly enjoyed working with the commission. It's been a pleasure. The people here, the people sitting out here, the people sitting up here, just been wonderful to work with. They're really engaged, they care, and it's good to have clients that are good to work with. If I have a client that I don't like working with, I usually don't work with them. I'm not that hungry. But I am Charlie Dormany.
Which is why we like Charlie, because the level of honesty we get.
I'm a partner with Hall Smith. I've been a partner for almost 6 years now, about the time I moved over here in 2010. But this is all about our services. So who are we? We are Hall Smith. Let's see if this works, Jay. We are a regional firm. We're based out of Atlanta. We have about 150 to 200 attorneys. I'm not sure exactly what the count is right now. We've got, I believe, let's see, how many offices is that across the bottom there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But that's missing. I think we've got 11 offices. Jay, it's not working.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Didn't work?
No, sir, it bailed on us.
Okay. Well, we've got offices around the southeast, Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Charlotte, North Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, North Palm Beach, Florida, soon to be Jacksonville. We have an office in Birmingham, Alabama, and then Atlanta, Athens, Columbus, Albany, Tifton, and Brunswick. We grew up as a medical malpractice defense firm. We originally started out with about 25 attorneys doing strictly medical malpractice defense. We have grown to multiple offices and have developed a practice group environment for our firm where we handle all types of different things. People in our Atlanta office primarily specialize in one area or another, but in the regional offices, we tend to have a more varied practice like myself. So I kind of told you who I was. I failed to mention that my wife Carolina and I have been married for going on 13 years now. We have a daughter Maggie, who is 8, Jack, who is 7, and Henry, who is just about to turn 5. And for the past 3.5 weeks, they have been ravaged with the stomach bug, so it's been very interesting around my house. But I myself, in my practice, last year from January to December, the JWSC accounted for about 25% of what I did professionally. My other clients, I'm general counsel for Carolina Skiff, a small physician-owned hospital in Valdosta, Smith Northview Hospital, and St. Simons by the Sea here. I'm outside litigation counsel to Camden County, Camden County Board of Education as well, Franklin County, the City of Waycross, and Effingham Board of Education. Otherwise, I do a lot of insurance defense work for insurance companies like CNA, Iron Health or Iron Shore Insurance, and various other employment insurers. So I like to say I represent the man in all his many forms, but I also have a corporate practice, do some real estate, and one of my most successful practice groups recently has been defending anyone that Bassett sues, or representing anyone that sues Bassett. Apparently I was the only person in the county that didn't have a conflict. Bassett hadn't represented one of Bassett's entities before. So that's been a very good practice for me too. The office here in Brunswick, we have 14 attorneys, 7 of those are partners. We represent some of our larger clients, are Southeast Georgia Health Systems. We do all the litigation for the hospital here in Camden County, Rayonier, Georgia Pacific, and Sea Island, just to name a few. Beth Boone is a partner. She is recently taken over all of our State Farm work, which keeps 4 attorneys busy pretty much 100% of the time. Steve Bristol is a local guy. He's a partner as well. He essentially handles all of our appellate work. He's actually working on the Board of Education lawsuit for JWSC as well. Kirk Carter is an associate. He handles primarily State Farm. Jim Durham, who has been in the area for a long time, does a lot of corporate litigation, represents Rayonier, Sea Island, folks like that. Glenn Jones is another local product. He has just come back with us. He took kind of a sabbatical, was working part-time with us, but was handling Adam Wainwright's foundation for about a year, but has now just come back with us. His wife is the Associate General Counsel at the hospital, and she was one of our former associates as well. Jacob Kitchen is another local kid. His dad, Stephen Kitchen, is a surgeon here. He's been practicing with us for going on 2 years now. Jacob does a lot of work for the JWSC. He's kind of my right-hand man whenever I need contracts drafted and things like that. Jacob is my go-to. Dan Lovin is the managing partner of our office. He represents the hospital. He also does workers' comp, which is his involvement with the JWSC. He handles the workers' comp claims for the JWSC. Will Mann is basically Mr. Everything. He's an associate. He's been practicing with us for 5 years now. But if any employment matter ever goes into litigation, he's going to be handling that with me. Joseph Paget just started with us. He's from Darien, and he's been with us for about 6 months now, but has been working closely with me on some of my litigation as well. Patrick Powell is originally from Valdosta, handles a lot of business litigation. He's been here for probably 6 years now. Audra Rizzi joined our firm when Jim Durham did. She's a partner. She handles a lot of domestic work. James Smith, originally from Fitzgerald, Georgia, which is where my family is all from, does a lot of workers' comp, and he'll probably be working on some JWSC stuff as well. The JWSC legal team, primarily it's me, but it's not just me. I have a lot of support. I can't do it all by myself. As I mentioned, in Brunswick office, Dan Lovin does the workers' comp, Will Mann, Jacob Kitchen, Joseph Paget, and Julie Edmonds is our paralegal extraordinaire. She handles a lot of the real estate. You may have heard some commentary about the real estate transactions between the city and the county that are currently, we're trying to get those to go through. They were supposed to have been done back in 2010, but it's been dragging around, and we're getting towards the short roads, as we say in Tifton. Over in the Tifton office, Tony Rowell, some of y'all have had the pleasure of meeting him. He's a partner. He's been with the firm for a long time. He trained me in my governmental, actually in every bit of my practice, but he represents Tift, Coffee, and Ware counties. He's previously represented Worth, Berrien, and Atkinson County. He also represents Coffee Regional Medical Center. So Tony is, if I ever have a question, he's the first person I call. He's handled a lot of complex litigation he and I do together, and he's actually been involved with the JWSC in a couple of different roles. He'll sometimes attend the meetings when I'm unable to, and he's also involved in our SPLOST issues. Jennifer Herzog is invaluable to the firm. She's just been named a partner this past July. She is an expert on everything open records and open meetings. If there's ever a question, any possible question that comes up for open records or open meetings, she knows the answer off the top of her head. If we took a test, I might make an 80, she'd make 100. So she's go-to girl on that. Janice has been working with her And when Sandy was here, she was in constant contact with her as well. In Atlanta, Brad Carver is a partner. He is in our legislative affairs group. He's essentially a lobbyist, but he also handles litigation, and he helped us push through our legislative package last year. And he keeps us up to date during the session with regard to any kind of water or sewer issues. So for the next couple of months, you'll see me forwarding emails from him about those various issues. Scott Cole, thankfully, hasn't had to have too much involvement with JWSC yet, but he has been involved in a couple of environmental issues. Phil Freitas is our employment guru in our Atlanta office. In our Athens office, I've leaned on Malcolm MacArthur a couple of times when dealing with the Board of Education issue, and Charlotte Rich Shanis, who is our data security expert, who has had just a little bit of work to do with the JWSC and a couple of our contracts. So what do I do? Probably the most visible thing I do is attend the regular and staff meetings on a weekly basis. During those meetings, I'll pipe up and offer some compliance advice or some risk management advice on different issues. And of course, during the executive session, I'll provide updates on any litigation and advise the commissioners on what I believe we should do and the ramifications of the actions that we take. I think it's important that I point out to y'all that I have been retained by the commission, so therefore my allegiance is to the commissioners. Although I work closely with Mr. Junkin, if there's ever an issue, my allegiance is to the commissioners, so I represent y'all, not necessarily Mr. Junkin. And unfortunately, some of those issues have come up in the past. I do a lot of advice on open meetings and open records. Janice and I will be working on open record responses together. We've got a couple irons in the fire. And Janice, by the way, I just got an email from Jason Tate wondering what the whole other was on her open records. Like I said, I utilize Jennifer Herzog in our Tifton office as well. For contracts, I do a lot of contract review and revision and negotiation. Sometimes Pam will have me review an RFP, but I'll review and revise vendor contracts, review and revise memorandums of understanding between all various entities that we deal with. I interpret the operating agreement routinely. Just about everything I do, I have to check the operating agreement in our legislation to ensure that we're doing things that we can do. And just recently, of course, we passed an addendum to the operating agreement, which is soon to be passed by the city and county as well. In my contracts, I utilize Jacob Kitchen and Joseph Patchett. Litigation, unfortunately, this has been a big part of what I've done over the past 2 years. I act as insurance counsel, which means if there's a claim that is made that is insured, the insurance company will retain me. That's the good thing about Hall Booth is, regardless of what insurance company it is, we are probably on their panel of attorneys, approved attorneys. So regardless of what kind of insurance issue it is, they can assign it to me, and I'll have familiarity with the JWSC, and that gives JWSC some value added. They won't get billed for having to figure out what the
insurance
JWSC
company
is.
pays that.
Right. I also act as uninsured counsel. If any type of claim that's filed, we submit it to the insurance company, and if they do not accept the claim, then that will come back to me if the JWSC so desires, and I will bill the JWSC directly for that. I utilize various partners and associates just depending on the type of case. Generally would choose between Will Mann, Jacob Kitchen, Dan Lovin, or Tony Rao to help me with that litigation. We negotiate settlements of the cases and the claims. Unfortunately, we have some outstanding claims right now that I don't want to talk about because they're not public record. And also, when needed, we would go to trial, and I'm certainly capable of first chairing trial, and very comfortable doing that as well. Just an overview of the lawsuits that I've handled since being here. Mr. Goodrich sued us over a billing dispute. We ended up trying that case and got a defense verdict. One of our former employees, Mr. Sapp, sued us a couple of times, and the one that I handled was ultimately dismissed. Mrs. Perkins slipped and fell in front of Fox's Pizza. There was an issue as to what she actually tripped over, but we ended up settling that for the insurance deductible. The city ended up paying twice as much as we did. They were also sued. Cummings was one that kind of bothered me. The insurance company settled this case without consulting me, and settled it for the deductible, which means that the insurance company paid very little, and JWSC picked up the tab. That really was a bad taste in my mouth. We have had 3 lawsuits.
The deductible is 10,000, right?
That's right.
I think that's something that the commissioners probably need to know.
Right, yes, sir. And it's different for different policies, but those 2 were 10,000. Yacht Club, Marshall Building, and Frederica Township have all filed separate suits. We were able to avoid the costly litigation, going through hearings and ultimately having a trial. We ended up entering into consent orders, and even though those 3 entities sued us, they ended up paying us money. So I thought that was a pretty good outcome. Board of Education, as you know, there's pending cross motions for summary judgment related to their failure to pay the debt service fee for their various accounts. We still haven't heard from the judge, but I'm expecting a ruling by Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. What's the current debt?
I don't know off the top of my head.
It's got to be in excess of $200,000.
So if the case is not settled in our favor, then that's a write-down. That will affect our asset position.
And as I mentioned, we have a few outstanding claims, but I'm not going to talk about those at this time. SPLOST compliance, of course, we're working with the county to coordinate past and future SPLOST, and we're waiting on the county attorney to send us a draft of the intergovernmental agreement, which we need to adopt and get in place prior to proceeding with the fix of the North Mainland problems. We revised the operating agreement, and during all this we utilized Tony Rao. Work closely with policies and the ordinances. Jennifer Herzog has a unique ability to be able to research various ordinances and tell us how they've been interpreted in the past. We've drafted revised policies. During my time, I've drafted the Commissioner Code of Conduct policy, the unsolicited proposal policy. I helped Mr. Junkin with the sewer tap allocation policy and the committee responsibilities policy, which I'm not sure if we're still utilizing that or not, but that was under Mr. Swan. We also drafted bylaws, and although they are bylaws, they really are just a compilation of our legislation and our operating agreement. I handle environmental compliance. I assist Angela with pre-treatment compliance and enforcing the ordinances, and very rarely I've had to lean on Scott Cole for a couple of things, but if needed, I utilize him in Atlanta. Like I mentioned, Brad Carter in our Atlanta office handles our legislation and lobbying efforts. We propose revisions to the legislation. We may want to do another revision this coming year, so we may need to get that on the agenda as well. We also manage the grand jury appointment process. As mentioned previously, we're also involved in handling real estate transactions with the city and the county and other various private landowners, so that the infrastructure that we are maintaining, we actually own A lot of it we don't currently own, but we are maintaining it. We don't technically own, but everybody seems to, if something bad happens out there, it's gonna, we're the ones that are gonna get noticed. We draft and revise leases, easements, and like I mentioned before, Julie Edmonds is a vital part of our team. Employment compliance, Teamwork Services handles a lot of the employment compliance, but I have advised the board on various personnel issues, annually perform sexual harassment training that I know the staff all enjoys. And I assist in revising personnel policies, although that primary responsibility is related to insurance. One of the first things I did when I came on was review the insurance policies and advise the commission on different policies that they need to obtain. I also have helped in addressing property claims and working with the attorneys for the property insurers to help us get our money. I thought that we were going to have in our orientation packet the different, our formational documents, our enabling legislation, operating agreement, and bylaws, and so forth. I'll let y'all peruse that at your own time, but you know, I would welcome any questions related to that.
Provided
in the
all
future.
that.
Yeah.
You want me to- They've already gotten the packet.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
I got a big notebook, sir.
Yeah.
But I'll be happy to answer any questions about that at any time. Otherwise, that's my part.
Questions? No questions?